What's up, everybody, and welcome to Hate to Pylon. And it's not Wednesday, but this is our Wrestling Wednesday coverage with the Pylon Wrestling Federation. Poof, poof, poof. We're here today, as you can see in the title. We're reviewing All Elite Wrestling Double or Nothing from 2021. We both watched the show. We both, I think, pretty good consensus that we enjoyed the show. Would you say so, Jonathan?
I would say so. I would have to agree.
Yeah, so we are getting back into our wrestling coverage. I want to do more for you guys, more wrestling coverage, and we cover the NBA, the NFL, and wrestling is something I really want to do. Is close and dear into my heart. We're going to be working our way back into the wrestling coverage as we can kind of, schedule time permitting, we can do. So we'll do some reviews. Maybe we'll get into I really want to just start doing just individual wrestlers matches just to kind of get some more familiarity with a lot of different wrestlers. But we're going to start today with the review of all Elite Wrestling Double or Nothing. Jonathan, first and foremost, before I start, Mr. Britt Baker, DMD. How are you doing today?
Exceptionally well, CJ. How are you doing?
I am giggity and I'm ready to go. Let's get into it, shall we? So this Memorial Day weekend, we had a pretty cool event. So AEW definitely they do these quarterly pay-per-views, which I mean, this is the second one we bought this year, so I'm definitely planning on getting all of them, especially now with the crowd is back, which is the first big note of this pay-per-view, is the fact that this show had full crowds, first time since the pandemic, since Revolution 2020. From the beginning, what did you think of just seeing the crowd? Because I know you became a AEW fan after, during the pandemic, so you really kind of didn't experience these crazy crowds that AEW has.
Yeah, I hadn't really watched much of any wrestling in years. But yeah, I started AEW in might have been end of November, beginning of December. So it's been about 6 months now. But yeah, empty crowds, basically just the rest of the roster out there, encircling the ring. But yeah, seeing the crowds was crazy, especially. We'll get to Stadium Stampede later, but seeing them in that just added a whole nother layer to the show and what they were able to do with that match.
For sure. I think, honestly, I think what we should do is if we can we can review starting from the first episode of Dynamite. Let's do 2019, so that first year of Dynamite into the pandemic, we can review and watch some of those shows because they were phenomenal, and the crowds are what really made AEW special because they were just rampant. I was really trying to go to the first ever AEW show in DC, but I just couldn't make it happen. But I made sure to watch, which I think I still have not missed a single Dynamite since it aired, which is pretty impressive. I haven't seen all of them live, so I can't say that. But I've watched every week. But I want you to see. I want to show you the OG, when AEW was new, and the crowds were just insane. The chants that they were having behind. I'm super excited to see it as it going forward. Now with the characters that and big Varsity Blondes fan that you are,
Yes,
maybe if they come back to Charlotte, because they were in Charlotte November 2019 at the Bojangles Coliseum, which is not very far from me, and get you to an AEW show and just be a part of it. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be electric.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm that's definitely goes this year or next year. Within a year, I will be going to an AEW Dynamite show or Rampage now that they starting the second show. But I really, really want to go to an AEW pay per view. and so they got double or All Out in Chicago this year, Labor Day weekend, and then they got Full Gear in St. Louis announced for crowds. So who knows? Who knows what the rest of the year has in store for us? But let's go ahead and start with the first matchup. Let's start on the buy-in. I could take the lead a little bit more on this because I know you haven't seen the buy-in match yet, which I highly recommend you do. I posted a tweet like the day before on Wrestle Votes or Wrestle Talk page about that Serena Deeb versus Riho was going to be the match of the night, and it was very good. Honestly, I kind of preferred the Serena Deeb match versus Riho over the Britt Baker match. I hate to say it. That match was electric. I mean, it was also the crowd was really into it, but it was early on in the show, so that can be a little bit of bias. But I just thought Serena Deeb just looked so crisp. She turned heel during this matchup. Like her and Riho's dynamic is so good. Serena Deeb is definitely one of the best women's wrestlers in the game today, right now. And I would love to see like how she continues to go, especially for NWA, which it makes me want to watch the NWA women's matchups more than now that she's champion and now that she's healthy. So I'm really excited for this. What do you think of those words that I just sent to you?
You got me excited to see this match, especially if it's better than the women's championship match with Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida.
I think it was.
That's some high praise. I really definitely got to check it out. I was a little bit busy. I tried to make sure I was home before 8 to start off, and I completely forgot about the buy-in match. So I started at like right around 8. Yeah, right before the match started with Adam Page and Brian Cage. So I missed
Page versus Cage with all the rage.
Yep. New Age. Yeah, so I did miss that match, but you got me excited to go back and rewatch it. I definitely am going to check it out.
You definitely have to. It's let's see. It's definitely really good. It's worth a bit watch because Serena Deeb she's just so crisp. She's really crisp in the ring, and I think that's what makes, and she makes a lot of girls better. I mean, she's a little bit older, but she still has a lot left in the tank. And I think if she keeps working with the women the way she has, like this women's division is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, the women's division looks really good. We were talking about it before we started recording. Obviously, Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker is coming up next. And then some point we're going to get Jade Cargill pushing for that title. Then Anna Jay is going to be coming back probably by the end of the year. Ty Conti has been on a tear. I haven't really. Has Nyla Rose been doing much in dark?
Yeah, she's been doing some tag team matches. She's been kind of working with some of the younger people, which I think is good. I think Maddie Rinkowski is a name. Actually, Maddie Rinkowski would be a good name to watch to be a first middle feud to kind of bridge the gap a little bit before Britt Baker, because Maddie Rinkowski is a student that Thunder Rosa trained, and in the Women's Cup Eliminator, she got thrown in over Anna Jay because Anna Jay got hurt. And she just kind of embarrassed her during the Eliminator tournament. So that right there is already a built-in story they can do. And Maddie Rinkowski's been getting some reps on dark. She's been getting more comfortable, more seasoned because she's the young competitor. But on dark, you can really find a lot of these younger women. They have a lot more women's matches on dark and dark elevation if you're really interested in checking it out. Like, because Colin King has been on dark for a while, and she's been growing. She's been getting a lot better. She's been on a winning streak. I think that's how she got the matchup. She did the open challenge against Jade Cargill last week on Dynamite. 2 big women. So as she starts to get better, you can get you some big. I don't know what's the definition of hoss for women. Hosses? I don't know. But I mean, if you start building up your big women, Colin King, Nyla Rose, Jade Cargill. I mean, Chris Statlander is a beast. Like Chris Statlander could be the next champion if she stays babyface. She's really good in the ring. She's really over, especially with the best friends. I mean, she could do a lot of really good stuff. I mean, of course, you still got Penelope Ford, who's really good. She's really athletic and talented. We just got to start building these characters up, and I think the storylines are going to start coming. Of course, Nyla Rose, she can't really. I mean, I feel like she's probably going to be the first 2-time women's champion somewhere down the road. But we definitely need to start to see some more prominent stars in the women's division, and Britt Baker did that, and her confidence level is through the roof. But we'll continue more about that once we get to that matchup. Let's start with the first match of the night on the pay-per-view show. Brian Cage versus Adam Hangman Page. So this match got set up when Page and Cage met on Dynamite, and Team Taz attacked Hangman Adam Page before the match, gave him a devastating powerbomb on the ring apron. Or not really ring apron, but the ring, the stage. There you go. And Brian Cage beat Hangman to knock off then number 1 ranked Hangman knocked off Hangman, which was huge. Like no one really expected it. Everyone's thinking, okay, it's going to be Hangman versus Kenny at the pay-per-view, but people's like, no, we should wait a little bit longer for this, and that's what we're seeing. So he had that one miss-slip, and Adam gave a great promo about how we should go double or nothing. Like he just worked that in perfectly, and then Johnny Hungy's like, "Oh, I see what you did there."
That's my guy.
Hilarious, and I think it's perfect because I think if the story plays out the way I think it is, with now that because Adam Page got kicked out of the league, he always felt like he didn't really belong, and he felt like he got used and mistreated, and then now that like he found a group with the Dark Order that has his back, then as he starts to grow and get better.
Has he officially joined the Dark Order?
He's not a part of the Dark Order, but his friends, they're alongside of versus in it. So like they have his back.
I know he was being recruited and but he never like explicitly said like I'm joining though, right?
Yeah, he never. Yeah,
it's said, purely a friendship,
right? He said that on Dynamite. He's like, look, I already did the group thing before, but
it's not.
You know what? I got your back, and we got your back. So it's just a mutual friendship, which is good, right? So he has them behind his back, which I think is going to lead to I think the Elite's just going to keep getting stronger until All Out, and then so it's really kind of going to be like an Elite versus Dark Order thing, and so he's going to have boys to kind of help, like have his back. He kind of building that army so he can make that big fight against Kenny Omega, and I think that has to be the main event. Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega. That is the main event that we're all expecting, which would be 2 years. It'll be 2 years to the day if he did that. If he were to make it to that championship match at All Out, to where Hangman had his first title, world championship opportunity at the first All Out against Chris Jericho to be crowned the champion, and that story that he went through for the last 2 years. It would be perfect, and to crown Kenny Omega, who's beat him, and partners that would have been perfect. So we'll see if that's what goes on. I think that's the perfect story. I hope it happens. But back to this match. This matchup was the opener. The crowd was so hot. These guys went back and forth with each other. Like it was intense. Like, what did you think of this first matchup?
I really enjoyed it. I just want to point out that, like, you called the Serena Deeb Rio match stealing the show. I called this match kind of. Once Adam Page came out and like laid down the mano y mano challenge, like just you and me, you don't need Team Taz to come to the ring, and Brian Cage like, yeah, I'll do it. Especially based off Brian Cage and Ricky Stark's animosity the previous
like a month
2
or so
months
ago.
or so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see it coming that they were definitely going to come out and cost him the match. And I told you that. Do you remember that? I said they were either going to come out and cost him the match, or they were going to come out interfere, and he was going to win the match because of them, and
He
just
didn't
be
want
mad
to
at
do
them.
that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't want to win like that. And sure enough, that's what happened. They come out, they cost him the match. Hangman picks up the victory. And now, could we be seeing Brian Cage departing Team Taz as a result of this match? I think it's very possible.
I think so.
Maybe not with Ricky Starks being hurt. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like that would be a match they would want for that storyline. But maybe they just roll with Powerhouse Hobbs instead.
Possibly. Like, I
That would
don't
be
know
an
if they want
electric
to.
match.
It would
That'd
be.
Two big boys going at it.
Big
Brian
boys.
Cage and Powerhouse Hobbs.
I mean, but like, I don't know if you. I feel like they have big plans for Hobbs right now. I think I can see Hobbs being like the second TNT champion, so like not right away. Or I can see Hobbs, honestly. I don't know. I see someone. I feel like what will happen is they will wind up wrestling for the FTW championship to try to make it a thing, or he will get stripped from it by Taz. But I feel like Hobbs. I think I can see Powerhouse Hobbs like Ricky Starks first, Ricky losing, and then Taz get pissed off. You know what? We want to send like Powerhouse Hobbs to you, and but it's for the FTW championship, and then Hobbs beats Cage, gets him out, and then maybe they do somehow get the so now he's lost that title, then which I want to see put him into the TNT championship picture, which as a babyface, Cage versus Miro.
Because Cage already competed for it against Darby, didn't he?
Yeah.
And lost, and then that led to this thing, Darby versus
Team Taz.
Yeah, Team Taz in the cinematic street fight.
That was awesome.
We are hoodlums. Yeah, but I don't know how long Ricky Stark's going to be out with his injury. Do you know?
I think it's 4 months.
4 months,
and he's been out for like close to a month now. It's been a month since he's had that match, so maybe another 3 months.
So yeah, maybe they just kind of play. They don't have Brian Cage leave Team Taz just yet, but they kind of like how they were having Ricky Starks and him going at it, like at each other's necks a little bit. Maybe they have him and Powerhouse Hobbs doing that for the next month or two leading into All Out. And then maybe at All Out, we get Ricky Starks versus Brian Cage.
I would love that.
For the FTW championship.
Yeah, because I know Hobbs and Christian definitely have a score to settle.
For sure.
Because, I mean, Christian beat Hobbs, so I think Hobbs has to get a win back over him. Because Hobbs is too good to not be a fucking star. Like, he is too good.
Yeah, I just feel like they got Miro right now. They got Lance Archer. Those and Brian Cage. Like, those are their two, like, the three, like, big powerhouse dudes they got. Like, I don't know if they can you have 4 at one time? That just seems like a lot to be pushing. A lot of those types of wrestlers.
I don't think so. Like, well, I don't know, because it's tough because I just don't like the idea of beating a giant unless it's for like a like I see. We'll talk about let's pencil this. Let's hold this talk because it's gonna really play into the Miro match.
Okay,
but like I love big guys. Big guys are very pivotal to a lot of different stories. So like you can have a lot of
boys.
Oh, for sure. big chunky boys, and I think you can have multiple, and have them intertwined in a lot of different stories, especially if you're trying to build someone, and then they kind of give them that big obstacle before the guy. So he's like almost the final, the second to final boss,
like
and I like that. The what?
A mini boss, but not so many.
Exactly, and which I mean, you could take losses there and just keep them strong, but I just don't like beating the big guy too often, and that's kind of how I feel with Lance Archer right now. But he's a babyface, so it kind of makes sense. It starts to build his trajectory of kind of getting beat down until he finally starts his Phoenix ascent. You know,
he hasn't lost that much recently, has he? I mean, he lost. Well, we'll get to that match, but I mean, he won the ladder match or the. What was that match?
He didn't win the Face of the Revolution match.
Oh yeah, Scorpio Sky won it, didn't he?
Yeah. Which I thought he was going to win because I thought
in my head, Lance Archer won that because right after that match, he started coming out and going at Sting, like with the confidence of somebody who had just won it. But
right.
It was Scorpio Sky, and that's why he and All Ego Ethan Page started coming out at the same time right after that. Which I mean, that didn't really make sense to me. Like
it's a little weird.
It is weird.
Starting to work.
Scorpio Sky won the match, right? So he's the face of the Revolution,
right? So he won it thinking I am the face. Like I should be getting the push. I should be becoming the champion.
Correct. So to me, it would make sense that he would be going solo at this point and not teaming up with somebody else. Whereas Lance Archer, who lost, it would make more sense to me if losing, then you team up with somebody else and be like, no, we think we deserve to win it. We're going to come. Like, if All Ego Ethan Page and Lance Archer had teamed up and they were, like, feuding with Scorpio Sky, that would make more sense. Like, hey, we think we were better than you. We should have won. That just makes sense in my head. Obviously, that's not what happened. I forgot Archer. I forgot he didn't win that. So you're right. He has had a couple of losses recently.
Yeah, and he's also just been disappearing. Like, because he was very strong. Like, when him and Phoenix had that match, that one, I think Archer won that one.
So I was very upset about it.
Yeah, and that was good because I was like, okay, even though Phoenix is hot, but like I think Phoenix is just taking some time off right now. But like those two, like were the hottest two in the company at that point in time, and then it's kind of like you had to. I mean, I get you always have to choose like, all right, who's going to be their time right now, but it's tough, man. Like it's tough, especially when you just got so much electric talent. But let's go to the next matchup. Let's talk about. Let me see. Who was the second match? The second match was a fucking barn burner of a match. I was shocked when they did the match lineup. They had the tag team championship going second after that heater of a match. I was like, okay. So we got the AEW World Tag Team Championship match against Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley versus the Young Bucks. The Wild Thing. I gotta ask you, what is your opinion of the Wild Thing entrance for Jon Moxley?
I don't think it's just him. Like, I think they're trying to push that like that's the unofficial name of this tag team duo. Like, their Wild Thing is Mox and Kingston. Because, like, once Mox goes back to singles competition, I don't think it's still going to be his theme.
I think it is.
Is it?
He's kind of like embodying that Wild Thing. Like he's like.
I mean, he always
sense. Yeah, but I think it's just now that they got this. They were able to get this song. I feel like this is like a Jon Moxley thing he wanted because I mean, Tony Khan has been on a spree of buying licensing songs that kind of fit their like characters, like which also helps with like more notoriety, like brand recognition, whatever. I'll tell you this: a lot of people in the IWC didn't like it at first because they did a different version of it the first time he debuted live. People didn't like it because of timing, but then when they did Wild Thing, they did like the Major League Baseball version of it, and I thought I liked it. it just hits perfectly. Like when they had the show, when they did the show, they literally it was kind of perfect because it built up until when he came out, and then it said "Wow, dang!" and like everyone's just going crazy. And it's a great song. I think it's a good call, like a good song for the crowd to get into. And you know how crazy, like the AEW crowd is. I like this song. I really do like it. I think it fits because what stuff that Moxley has been doing lately, especially on the independent scene with
losing
Nick fucking Gage. You don't know about that. I gotta tell you about that. Nick Gage is probably one of the most craziest independent wrestlers of all time. The man legitimately went to jail. I'm not sure if he killed somebody. I don't think so. I forgot what he went to jail for, but he's crazy. Nick, we gotta watch some GCW stuff. He's done a lot of death matches stuff. Nick Gage wrestled David Arquette, in a death match, and slit his throat with a light tube that got broken open. He legitimately almost died in that match. Yeah. It's like on the dark side of the ring.
I bet Monica wasn't happy about that.
No, not at all.
They're not still together, are they? Courtney Cox and David Arquette? Nah.
I think so. I think they're still married.
They could be. Friends Reunion was recently.
I saw that was the thing.
I haven't watched it or any of it.
Yeah, me neither.
But I might. I did enjoy the show, Friends. It's a good show.
It's a good show. I think a lot of people now. I think the Friends is not aging.
Didn't age
well
right
now. Yeah.
Correct. Anyway, back to wrestling.
Yes. This match was awesome. I really liked the theme. Young Bucks and Moxley versus Moxley and Eddie Kingston. I didn't think would be. I thought it was gonna be okay match, but this match was really good. Like I thought the energy, Moxley coming out, throwing chairs, and just being wild and stuff like that. Like he was living up to the wild thing, and he was energized for that crowd. I mean, I know his baby's due in 10 days, so definitely see how much she's gonna be doing from now. Maybe take a couple weeks off, especially because he ate the pin in this match. But I thought this match was great. Eddie Kingston looked great. He had a great hot tag to kind of really get the crowd behind him. I mean, Young Bucks being heels and just doing the craziest. He's like doing like the hip things and like firing up and stuff like that. It was insane. It was big time insane.
All right. So we just talked about this Sunday night after the show. I just started watching AEW in early December, late November. I have not seen Jon Moxley win a pay-per-view or Dynamite main event. He has just lost all of them, which is ridiculous. He's one of the biggest stars in this promotion.
Yes.
And he had multiple losses to Kenny Omega. Now he's had multiple tag team. And has he had any triple team losses?
Yeah. I think they had a triple. That's when Hobbs was before he was like. I don't know. Were you watching when Hobbs was still a babyface before he turned on Moxley?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, I haven't seen this dude win. And I know he's an incredible wrestler. Like one of the best there is. I know that. But it just seems crazy to me that I haven't seen him win.
That's true. It's I gotta show you matches that he won. We could do some maybe we'll do like a Moxley Wrestling Wednesday episode. Watch some of his we can watch some of his blood sport matches. Ooh, that'd be tough. That'd be pretty fire. He has a lot of good shit. He has a lot of really good shit. So I feel like you came in at such a weird time. Because, I mean, you also miss, like, when Eddie Kingston first came into AEW cut that fire promo on Cody Rhodes in the TNT Championship Open Challenge during the pandemic, and he pretty much got himself signed. And then he kind of started going on this run of like making his way, like cutting these fire promos. People really buying into him.
He was already with Butcher and Blade when I started watching. Like that was already an established.
Because you wasn't there when. Were you there when he got? Because he also recruited the Lucha Bros.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had the Lucha because him and Penta are best friends, and Eddie was trying to kick out Ray Phoenix out the group. And he was like, "Oh, this is my best friend." He kept always talking really nice about him, and then his brother. And then he just he shit on Ray Phoenix, and then he also had Butcher and the Blade as well. So they had like a whole big stable. But then, and this is when Eddie Kingston always kept doing like he finally got them together because they kept losing. So they got them losing. He's like, and he came out like, "Dude, what are you guys doing? We used to be on the Independence together. You guys were vicious. You guys were this." And he finally kind of got them together. So they hug, and he would look at the camera. And he go. And like wait, and it's like, what is Eddie up to? And then he was working on trying to kick out Ray Phoenix. And he was trying to split the brothers against each other. And then right before he did that, Pac comes back because they had Death Triangle before the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And so it was still kind of iffy because Pac was like, he was able to finally come back to the United States, but it was like for like periods of time because he would have to quarantine for like 2 weeks and back and forth. So it was tough getting back and forth now. And I think because and that's the thing about Pac because he's so great and he's definitely one of the best wrestlers, like workers in the company. But his availability has been terrible because he literally was on a high level in WWE. Then he decided to leave because of the joke of the cruiserweight division. Left for a long time. Finally showed back up after his contract expired. Had this great run. It was just so many things that just stopped and start his pushes. But I know they consider him a top star in the company. It's just his availability. I don't know if he's willing to move to the United States or what. But he is from Newcastle upon Time.
Are Penta and Phoenix, do they live in the U.S.?
I think they do. I think they have a house in Los Angeles, but I think they also stay in Mexico. So I think they split time.
That's true.
Yeah. Because I think Penta... Well, Ray Phoenix has an art gallery in L.A. that just opened. They have a lucha store that I think they're opening up too. So that'd be something to check out.
For sure.
One day.
Yeah. No, I can see that because, Pac is just a ridiculous athlete and an incredible wrestler on top of that. But, I can see what you mean with his availability because he's been gone a lot.
It's that no fault of his own either. Which, he had a whole panorama stopping him.
Facts.
But what did you think of this tag team match, though? So this is the second match of the night.
It was good. Obviously, going into it, I didn't think they would have a tag team that was kind of just thrust together pretty quickly. Obviously, at what event was it? Where it was Mox versus... It was the barbed wire death match. Where...
Revolution.
Yeah, Revolution. Where Mox got left in the ring to explode, and Eddie Kingston ran out there to save him. And then there was nothing but some smoke and sparklers.
Yeah.
And that they just kind of forced that tag team basically off that one event. It seemed really rushed. And obviously they work together well, they have history. So it wasn't completely out of the blue, but it did seem forced and rushed to me. And I just didn't see a tag team like that wasn't built over the long term, getting the belts, especially over the Young Bucks. So I kind of expected this outcome, but The match itself was really good. You had Eddie Kingston and Mox come out and be the aggressors early on, and it looked like maybe they could pull it off, but then the Young Bucks went to work on Eddie Kingston's, was it his left leg?
Yeah, because that was the leg that they broke
Yeah,
when
with the
he
chair.
snapped. Yeah.
Yeah, so they went to work on the left leg and kind of took him out of the match a bit, and then went to work on Mox after that. And obviously, what was it? 5 BTE triggers? 4?
Yeah, they
It
took a
was a
lot.
lot. Yeah, and finally Mox ate the pin. But yeah, there was a lot of action in it. It was really good. Like I said, it felt like a forced partnership between Mox and Eddie Kingston, but they definitely have chemistry. They work together well, and obviously the Young Bucks being literal brothers, their chemistry is always ridiculous. Um, Probably the best I've ever seen in a tag team. Uh, but yeah, I really liked the match. The ending didn't really upset me. I expected it, but it was good. What did you think, CJ?
No, I really enjoyed the match. I thought that I mean the Young Bucks are just so good. You know, I my biggest thing was like I didn't know how their styles would clash, and I didn't feel like it was going to be a great match, and it turned out to be a great match. Moxley is just one of the best wrestlers in the world right now for sure, and they played it well to kind of get Kingston over more with the crowd with these hot tag that they did. Um, Working over a lot of stuff. It was just really good. It was a really good tag team match. The tag team matchup, championship tag team matches, of constantly have been some of the best at each pay per view, which is constantly bolstering the greatest tag team division in the world right now. I'm comfortable saying that because their roster is so deep and talented.
Yeah, it's
Um,
the only promotion that has varsity blondes in it, so I would have to agree.
well, MLW don't have both of them, but they do have Griff. I mean, uh,
Brian Pillman Jr.
yeah, Pillman.
Well, Griff's my guy, so
Griff is your
Griff's the one I care about. Brian Pillman's cool too, but
guy.
Griff is
but
a Jungle Boy if he wasn't child sized.
Jungle Boy's better. But we don't have to get into that.
He's not.
Who's about to have a world title match right now?
Who would win in a real fight?
Jungle Boy. He's quicker.
Is he?
Yeah, he's way more athletic.
You
Did you see
on
what
my
he
boy
did that
Griff.
to that 619 that post? Griff Garrison could never.
Griff Garrison wouldn't have been on outside of the ring in the first place.
All right. Let's move on to the next matchup. The next match of the night, I believe, was it was the Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo. So pretty much, was it that? Yeah.
No, was it that or the Casino Battle Royale?
I think it was the Cody, and then it went to the Battle Royale.
All right, let's talk about it then.
Let's talk about it. Actually, wait. No, it was the Battle Royale, then Cody. Actually. Anyways, we'll do the go-go match first. Fuck it.
Okay.
This match. Okay, so this match, the biggest thing. This is kind of where things kind of started going downhill for a lot of people. I liked the match. It was okay. It wasn't the best match on the card by any means. Originally, I wanted Anthony Ogogo to go over and help him out, but he's not ready. Anthony Ogogo's not ready as a wrestler, which is apparent. But he does have that. I feel like you can still build him up. I mean, this is the same thing that happened with Darby Allin. Darby Allin was Cody Rhodes' first opponent in AEW. He was his first person he wanted to get over. And him and Cody went back and forth, went from a draw to losing to finally beating Cody Rhodes for the TNT Championship. Perfect story. Got over. He's one of the most over people in the business right now, or at least in the company. And Anthony Gogo can be there. I think he has that star power. He's still pretty new into the wrestling business. This match was okay. It was okay. I don't have too much to say about it. I'm okay with Cody winning here. Just because seeing how Ogogo did, but Ogogo wasn't bad. He wasn't bad by any means. No. I think he just needs more ring time. He needs to get more feuds. It's just the biggest issue that I have is that like all these things that like Cody Rhodes and the Nightmare family try to do, their side projects that help other people get over it seems to kind of fail kind of quickly. So they had the Nightmare Sisters or something like that. I forget. It was just early on with crowds. It was now I remember Mel was not even. I haven't seen Mel wrestle at AEW in a very long time. It was her. It was Awesome Kong, and it was Brandy Rhodes in this group, this faction, and people hated seeing Brandy Rhodes all the time. And it was giving them a chance. Like Mel, she was like in the crowd, and then they recruited her, and then they cut her hair like live, like during the show, maybe during a commercial break or whatever. And it was cool. It just didn't click with a lot of people, so that got kind of squashed. And I mean, they try to do a lot of stuff because they want to build that Nightmare brand. And now with the factory, I mean, QT lost already to Cody. Ogogo lost already to Cody. It's just like, so then are they going to be challengers to him? Or was it just like, all right, they're stepping out and, now they're trying to make their own thing. But now, like, how can you take any of them seriously if they all lose? So then it's like, what was the point of this?
I see what you're saying. But if Cody does take some time away due to the birth of his daughter, I could see what's left of the Nightmare family feuding with the factory. So Lee Johnson, Dustin, obviously Dustin and Nick Camarado. That feud's going to keep going.
Nick Camarado it's set up so perfectly. So I don't.
They got the bull rope match, right?
Yeah, and Dustin Rhodes said in his promo on AEW Dark Elevation, which I need to watch him this week because they both have fans. So I watched a little bit yesterday, so it was kind of like, oh, this is kind of lit. That Dustin Rhodes has never lost a bull rope match in his career. If you really want to set up the Nick Camarado as a beast, as another big chunky boy in AEW, he has to win to give them, because like Ogogo was originally like that. Like Ogogo and Nick Camarado could be beasts, and I think Aaron Solo could be that tech, like savvy guy who's just really good. I think he's really good sound wise in the ring. But like I don't know, how do you fear those guys? Like, you know what I mean? Like if Nick Camarado loses, then it's like their strongest guy who seems indestructible. I mean, he doesn't sell a lot of moves, so like he has to be all right, we still got this heater. So then we are saved by the grace of him, and then we grow our strength from him. And like they could keep battling back and forth because I would love to see Lee Johnson and Aaron Solo like have like a burner of a match, like 10 minutes, just go all out, balls out, crazy to help get each other over. That'd be perfect. Austin Gunn and his brother Colton Gunn. Like I would love to see them two. I think Austin definitely has to get revenge against Ogogo because of that. Him bleeding at the mouth from those gut punches. So that could be a built-in story. But it's still I guess you got to try to work your way through the team before you can get to the head boss. So maybe like they finally get like once Cody finally steps away, the factory gets the advantage and starts, teaming up with everyone else.
That's kind of how I'm seeing it. Like the factory's going to start running things with Cody gone. I don't know if it's going to be strictly matches or if they're going to have them like attacking members of the Nightmare family like during their matches and backstage or whatnot. Just kind of maybe, I don't know. I definitely think they're going to get the upper hand in this feud. and then Cody's going to come back at some point. I don't know how long it'll be, but he'll come back. Then they'll have a resolution of the feud. Maybe QT Marshall versus Cody again, or maybe it's a Go-Go versus Cody again, and that's the push a Go-Go needs.
Or maybe Nick Comoroto versus Cody, and then maybe he's the guy who beats Cody.
Maybe. I don't know. I just feel like they want a Go-Go to be the guy, though, out of that group.
He has the most star power, but I think Nick Comorato's the most ready.
That's fair, but that's why I think, like, with Cody stepping away and them just kind of going on a run for a couple months, like 2 to 3 months, they can give a Go-Go time to work on his in-ring, get some experience, work on his like wrestling, his technical abilities, and kind of step up to that challenge. And that way, when Cody comes back, he can face him and show how much he's grown since this first match,
right?
And get over then. But yeah, he is electric on the with his promos. Nick Comoroto, he definitely is more of a threat right now, but I haven't seen him do much talking. I don't know how his mic skills are.
I don't think he needs to have mic skills. He's just a fucking beast. And he can have, QT talk for him and just let him do damage. A Go-Go has superstar ability. Like he's not terrible in the ring. He's just inexperienced. Like that frog splash looked really good. I mean, he moves around pretty decently. Like as he gets more comfortable, like 2 years, I think he'd be like really good. I mean, he already he has like the superstar look. He has the superstar on the talking. Like he can make you hate him easily. Like he's a good talker, which I think is hard, like especially for him. But then he has the physical ability as well. Plus the namesake, especially in UK, of already being an Olympic star. So it's built for him to be a big star and a big draw for AEW. It just depends on how fast he gets better.
Again, I just feel like they rushed this whole storyline with him being pushed against Cody. Like it felt a little too soon, and obviously it probably was, as you saw, his lack of experience in the ring. He definitely he's a little green. He needs to get better and more experience there before he can really be a competitor for a championship in the AEW. But I don't know what they're going to do. I'm very confused by some of their feuds and storylines. Like it just seems like they rush some stuff when they don't need to.
Well, I feel like it's. I think they're trying to do a balance between getting stuff quicker and doing stuff long term, because I feel like with the new audience and the younger audience they're trying to cater to, they have a little bit of shorter attention span. And
that's fair.
So it's kind of like you try to like weigh two evils to see how it works, But like I feel like at the same time, it's like they do a lot of things in threes, so it's like you think it's too soon for, but it just adds to the bigger story, at the same time as well. That same thing with the Darby Allin story. What other stories? I mean, the Hangman story, like these ultimate long-term stories, which we all love, like that big moment, which oh my god, when if Hangman doesn't beat Kenny Omega, that will be the saddest day.
See, but that feels like too long. Like that, you said that's like 2 years?
Dude, it's not long. It's not that long. I think it's perfect. It's perfect. Because you just want, like, because I think the 2 years, because it just makes sense for like a 2-year story. Like, and it was literally the first stories, the big story set in motion from the very beginning. And because this is what a lot of people were talking about when AEW first started, right? When Hangman won the Battle Royal at Double or Nothing, he was the Joker. And it was like, all right, so it was Chris Jericho versus Hangman Adam Page. No one knew Hangman Adam Page, but they knew he was going to be the future. So it'd be like, you go with everyone's like, you obviously go with Hangman. He's the future. Like, you don't go with the old guy. Why would you go with the old guy? Like, he's the future. But at the same time, it's like he's not over yet. Like, no one knows him. So it's like, can you go with a guy that nobody knows? But they went with Jericho, which Jericho had a great title run. He was a face that people knew, which brought more eyes to the product. And then Hangman slowly would switch to the background, but He started getting over, became tag team champions, was super over. Cowboy shit was huge. I mean, you heard him screaming cowboy shit in the first match. And then now people know him. He's so lovable. He's like that crowd reaction when Hangman came out. I mean, yes, it was the first match, so of course you get that early, crowd. Mm-hmm. But that crowd was loud. So I think it's been perfect that they builded him because you want to make sure he's over, and so when you do make that big jump to go with him, it's going to be electric. Like I feel like you can miss it to where you do it too soon. It's not ready. He wasn't ready for it. It just kind of be a wasted opportunity. And so I don't think it's too long. I think it's a really good story because it wasn't like it was his only thing. He took a sidestep focus and he was a champion. He was an AEW tag team champion for a while, for like 200 days. So he was definitely on the top of the mountain in a tag team mountain, which him and Kenny Omega were thrown together tag team. Never tagged before, but they became one of the best tag teams in the world. It's pretty crazy. Let's talk about, since we're kind of doing on like the long-term story talk. Let's talk about the Battle Royal, which is becoming like a tradition at Double or Nothing. So you got like different spades, like groups of 5 come out, or groups of 4 come out. Groups of 5.
Was it 5 or 4?
I think it's 5 because it's 4 groups that come out. And then the last one's the Jokers. Is only 21. It's a pretty basic battle royal. Not a lot of new names, but I think there was a lot of guys getting opportunities. Big Shotty Lee, Nick Camarado, Dustin Rhodes. I like battle royals if it's done well because you can literally set so many storylines into motion. I would like to see more Bear Country, but I think one of the Bear Country guys got hurt. But also, Bear Country did reportedly get officially signed with AEW, because Tony Khan announced the media scrum before the show that they're expanding the roster. They're expanding and they're trying to do more global expansion, especially with the new show Rampage coming, which is insane, expanding the roster. But I think you have a lot of guys who've been busting their tails and trying to get a job with AEW and then finally get the roar of them. Cuts are coming for sure by the end of this year, early next year, because this is year 3 of since 2019 starting. And so we'll see who doesn't, I would say get cut, but more just don't get their contract renewed. Mm-hmm. Will be very interesting to see. I'm thinking, I hate to neglect, like to speculate, but like TH2, Joey Janela, Sonny Kiss. I'm trying to think guys who just don't get really used a lot. That's like, I don't want to do this, but yeah, it's just so much talent, man. It's tough. There's so much talent on this roster. And they are getting more TV time, which is very pivotal. And Trios titles are coming soon, so I think that could be a great way to really use another 40% of the roster, you know what I mean, for Trios, because that's like, you'll have 6 people in the ring constantly for just one match. And then imagine if you do a Trios triple threat.
Yeah.
That's 9 guys being used, you know what I'm saying? And depending if they try to make special rules for the trios matches, which I feel like they should, they make it a special attraction. I don't know. It's really exciting.
Since we're talking about trios, who's your prediction for first trios champions?
It has to be Best Friends or Death Triangle. Those two would be actually, that would probably be the match. That would be the match to decide the championship. And I think, because, think about this. Like, Best Friends have been really close. They've been a top tag team for a long time. They've been in some of the best tag team feuds on the show. Orange Cassidy is like a main event guy now. Just got his first championship opportunity. These guys are, it makes sense to put a title on these guys because how over they are. But at the same time, Pac, Ray Phoenix, Penta are over as fuck. One, like literally the best wrestlers in the world. It's a shame that they wouldn't be champions, and they would just have great feuds with anybody, great matches. And I think it just depends. I think it depends on what you want your trios matches to embody. And I think you want the first championships to embody the spirit of amazing trios wrestling. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I think, hey, I definitely think Death Triangle best friends should be the matchup. But I mean, if Jurassic Express is still together, that would be really good. They're really over too, depending on what they do. Team Taz, but I mean, well, they gotta unless Hook. I guess Hook can be the third. Hook, Ricky Starks, and Powerhouse Hobbs. The Hardy HFO. I mean, Private Party and Matt Hardy, or Butcher and Blade and Matt Hardy.
Oh, I would hate that.
Yeah, I feel like he would just let them boys just do all the work and you just get the fan.
Yeah, at least Private Party is exciting. I'm not really a fan of Butcher and Blade.
They haven't really had the best matches until FTR came on. Ooh, FTR and Sean Spears. That'd be good.
Possible.
I mean, of
course, yeah, I can see somebody from the Pinnacle and what's it called? Both having a trio.
Inner Circle?
Yeah, Inner Circle.
For sure. They definitely do their tag team specialist team and then whatever, who wants to go with them. So, like, Proud and Powerful and FTR, and then probably either Sean Spears or, like, Sammy Guevara. That would make the best.
And Santana Ortiz.
Yeah, that would be the best combination. Like, nothing against, like, Sammy, like, nothing against Wardlow. Wardlow is a star. He should be in a championship hunt. Like, but yeah, I mean, Jake Hager is cool too, but I just think to be like your best trios team, because I feel like trios matchups should be just fast paced, hard hitting, and like insanely different from the regular tag team matches, because you have that third person, that bigger, that crazier element. Maybe adjust the trios rules a little bit more.
Yeah,
I don't know. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I see it pretty much the same way. I want to say Death Triangle, but you made a good point about Pac and his travel restrictions.
Yeah.
I don't know if
it might not be a big of a thing if by the time they do it, like, we're every day it seems to be we're just getting closer and closer to wide open. But also England is not that same way right now.
Correct. So that's what I'm wondering, is if he's still going to have those travel restrictions by the time this rolls out. Maybe that costs Death Triangle that chance to be the first trios champions.
For sure.
But
unfortunately, but there's a lot of tag teams. There's a lot of great teams, which I think would be awesome. Like, and I think, and that's what I want. Like, I just want everyone to get used, and there's just so much good talent, man. There's so much good talent. And it's not saying they're getting wasted, because they get opportunities it takes a little bit longer to get back to them, because there's more people to, give people opportunities for.
For sure. There's a lot of talent on this roster.
Dude,
yeah, here's
a trio for you. You might not expect, but I think could be the case. So Joey Janela, I think, is turning heel on Sunny Kiss. No one cares. I mean, obviously, no one cares about it because it's on Dark a lot. But Bear Country also turned heel. Bear Country and Joey Janela. The Bad Boy and the Bears. The Bad Bears.
Bad Bears Club?
Yeah. Bad Bear Country. I'm a bad boy. Joey Janela he's so cool, man. Like, I I don't know. I don't think his character's just not getting over on TV. I think he just needs a little bit more character work. But he's a good wrestler. Like, he could do a lot, and like he's a great on the independent scene. He could do a lot. Like if his first big notion was he was just a deathmatch wrestler, but then he proved that wrong when he went against like Kenny Omega. Just had a great matches, but I think he's just kind of getting slipped through the cracks a little bit.
True.
So we'll see what happens.
For sure.
But for this battle royal, which was a good battle royal, a lot of people predicting Christian. When we were talking about Christian's definitely going to win this, but we got the swerve and Jungle Boy finally getting a victory, a big victory to kind of push his stock up a little bit more. And one thing that's been noticeable is that the last battle royal with a tag team battle royal, it was Jungle Boy and Ray Phoenix as the last two, and then Jungle Boy lost. And then with the Dynamite Diamond Ring battle royals, he's been the last person with MJF as well. He's been the guy who's been a really good battle royal participant. I guess that's the right way of saying it. And he's been really good, and he's been the last guy. He just hasn't been able to win it. And the fact that he finally got it in front of that full crowd singing his song, I don't remember how it goes. I don't know. It was going wild. It was going crazy. But what did you think about that? I mean, I know obviously you're a big Jungle Boy hater, but
I don't hate him. He's just not as good as Griff Garrison. But I don't know. When I saw the lineup for this battle royale, I was convinced that it was the Joker was going to win. I didn't know who the Joker was. I just assumed okay, they're probably going to sign somebody new, and this is going to be where they come in. I was thinking Andrade, maybe.
That would have been awesome.
Because is he still a free agent, or he signed with somebody already?
He's still a free agent, but he has a match set with Kenny Omega in AAA and Triple Mania. I think that's going to be or sometime in the summer. That's going to be an awesome match.
Well, even if he's not, if he had signed somewhere, AEW lets them work with other people. They don't have. It's not like WWE where they only let you wrestle for that one promotion.
Yeah, they have first right of refusal for a lot of contracts, but they also let them work they have special provisions in each contract based on where that guy wants to go. If he wants to go work for a certain amount of indies. Also, speaking of that, Leo Rush, who was the Joker, who was formerly a WWE superstar, current MLW welterweight championship, if I'm not mistaken, he could have lost that. I'm not sure, but he actually is signed with New Japan, and he's working a few dates with AEW. So a guy who is doing multiple promotions at the same time kind of makes significant of what things that you can do. How much more of an impact that he will have in AEW, we'll see. I mean, you saw the quickness that he showed in the ring, just how fast he was, just insane. I would love to see him versus Ray Phoenix. I just want to see him versus Dante Martin on Dark. I'll be okay with that. Dante Martin is stupid athletic. That man has bunnies.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they have him and Dante Martin team together while Darius is hurt.
That's true. He tore his ACL too, so he's going to be out for at least 6 months.
That would be an electric tag team.
Yeah, getting some, someone who's older, with more experience as well. I mean, and Leo's not even that much more older. Well, I guess he is, but Leo's only 25.
Pretty young.
25 or 26.
But he's got a lot more experience.
Lot more experience. Yeah, he climbed the ranks up really fast. His first through the Indies and was in Ring of Honor, and then he's from Maryland. He went Maryland Championship Wrestling, and then he got signed to WWE quick, and he was doing good at WWE, but then there was just a lot of bullshit that happened with him. And now that he's out, he actually had an issue with Mark Henry when he was in WWE. Funny enough.
Did he?
Yeah, now he already cleared it up. So yeah, me and Mark Henry both had a talk, and I think biggest thing with Leo Rush was just a lot of the backstage politics and like stuff that you're supposed to do under rules that he just wasn't a fan of, and he got labeled as like being like disrespectful to the business and yada yada yada, like that. But let's move on to let's move on because we getting caught up.
Yeah.
All right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more matches left. So let's do this.
5? Yeah. All right. Next one up is the TNT Championship.
TNT Championship, Miro versus Lance Archer. I'll say 2 things about it. You say 2 things about it, and we'll go on.
All right.
First things first, I wasn't a fan of this matchup to begin with because I didn't want to, because I knew Lance was going to lose because it was too early for Miro to lose unless they were going to do a shock dub for Lance Archer, which I still was not a fan of. I hate seeing Lance lose, but he looked good. It was a short match. Maybe this is not the only battle between them. You have to get Miro, make Miro strong. Because, I mean, I feel like this should just be a big catapult for him to get to the world title picture. I don't know. I just wasn't a fan of it, but this match was good. Miro looks great. I hate Lance losing, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Let's see. I feel like they are going to set it up for a feud with these two. Obviously, you had Miro being disrespectful to Jake the Snake Roberts, and the Snake tossing it in the bag. That man tossed it like a fastball, 90 miles an hour into the tunnel. The announcing team was not a fan of that. I was like, it's a snake, bro. I mean, I would have done the same thing.
I mean, yeeted that snake.
he launched that thing.
Bro, like you heard the gasp in the crowds. Everyone was, that was funny.
Facts. I was like, bro, I would have done the same thing. It's a snake. But yeah, same thing with me here. Obviously, it was way too early for Miro to lose. He just got it last week. 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, yeah.
I think technically it was a week and a half ago because it was the last Wednesday night one, right? The last Wednesday night Dynamite?
Yeah, it was the last Wednesday night.
He won it. So, yeah, it was like a week and a half ago. Because the next Dynamite was Friday night, and then...
He defended against Dante Martin because he won the competition. And Dante Martin was doing well on Dark. He's like 8 wins straight on Dark or something like that. So he got an opportunity to go against Miro.
Yeah, and then Sunday. So, yeah, it's like 10 days or so, like a week. Yeah, a week and a half. But, yeah, way too soon for him to lose. Lance Archer, I don't know what they're doing with him. His whole storyline just seems confusing. Yeah.
Which... I don't know. Like, I don't know where he goes. I mean, we could all just be right now like, okay, we just didn't understand what was going on. And all of a sudden, like, in 3 months from now, we're like, okay, I see. Like, maybe he needs to transform a little bit. Maybe he needs to do some soul searching, which I feel like that's okay. Like, I feel like to deepen his character, to really kind of buy into that baby face Lance, maybe something with him and Jake happens. Like, maybe they split up. Maybe he finds new guidance, new counsel. Maybe he aligns with someone. Maybe like Paul White. I don't know, to show him how to be a true big man. And then get that redemption. Like, I see the only person to beat Miro is going to be Lance Archer. I think that would be the best story. To make this not be like a wasted loss. Because Miro, I mean, it makes sense because Lance is a big guy. He is a monster. He's the Murder Hawk monster. He ran rampant. He was the first TNT matchup. So going from losing the first TNT matchup, losing the second opportunity against Miro, and then to finally overcoming and being the TNT champion in the long term, that makes sense. And I'm here for that 1,000%. So if we get that, let's say at All Out, I'm okay with that. Or maybe before All Out. I don't know. I'm trying to think who else would be in line for that because I mean, I'm pretty sure Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky don't want to go for Miro because they're smart guys and they're also heels at the moment. Does Sting try to go against Miro? That would not be smart. But Sting looks like he still can go in the ring.
I don't think Sting can go as a singles competitor.
Yeah, yeah. Tag might be the best he can do. He looked good. We'll talk about that next.
I don't even know if he can be like a permanent tag. But anyway,
he doesn't have to. Yeah, it's definitely a part time. Like it's probably like once every 3 months.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know who they would have take it off him either. Take the belt off Miro.
Cody. I don't want to see Cody. I don't want to see Cody win it the third time. Ooh, like John Silver, Alex. Wait, what? John? Yeah, John Silver. Yeah, Johnny Hungy.
Johnny Hungy, that's my guy. I don't know. Maybe they have Jungle Boy lose against Kenny Omega, and then
put him in a TNT feud.
Yeah,
that would be good. I like that.
Jungle Boy somehow chopping down the giant that is Miro. That would be. I don't see it happening, but that would be interesting.
I think Miro has to keep the title until All Out. He has to keep the title all summer long.
I think the only person who beats him before All Out would definitely be Lance Archer. Because I don't think they want to run it back with the two same people back to back pay-per-views. Like just a rematch. That doesn't seem. I don't. Just based on what I've seen from AEW in like the 6 months I've been watching, that doesn't seem to be how they like to operate.
Right. I mean, it could happen. A title change could happen on Dynamite because they kind of did that with Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. So they had the Winter is Coming special on Dynamite, and then they did a rematch on the pay-per-view with higher stakes.
Yeah. I think that was the first one I watched was the Winter is Coming match.
Yeah, because that was like your birthday.
Yep.
So
that was when I first started watching. So yeah. I haven't seen Mox win yet. A main event.
You might not for a while.
Yeah, I don't think so. But
we'll reminisce on some matches. All right, so the next match we got is where we at? Your girl, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Beating Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship. The brand new design Women's Championship with more gold and diamonds plated. I'll let you start this one off. What did you think of this match and the results?
You already knew what time it was. She told you what it was. She showed you what it was, and now you know what it is. She said she's not only the face of the women's division, she's the face of, what'd she say, the era?
This is her era.
This is her era. Yeah, face of the new era. And yeah, she's right. I mean, obviously, she started off the blood on the face. And then you saw MJF copy it at Blood and Guts. And then Mox had it at Double or Nothing in the Tag Team Championship. So yeah, she started a new era, kind of an ECW, AEW era, where there's always a bloody face match. And put some respect on the OG. Trendsetter, role model, champion. Britt Baker, DMD.
I respect that. I mean, I think it's definitely time for a new era in the women's division, and I think she's going to usher it in perfectly. I think she's going to bring a lot more eyes onto the women's division. I'm excited to see what she does and what how she keeps evolving, because it's crazy the fact that when she got injured, she was doing well, like, especially when she made the big heel turn last year, and on the boat. But like when she got hurt, and everyone was like, man, like Britt Baker was finally getting that momentum. But like when she got hurt, she really just kept getting better, and she just kept showing up on Dynamite. Even though she had her knee injury, she also had to fixed her nose, had to feud with Big Swole. Then like she just kept getting better. And when she finally was healthy enough to wrestle, the first match back, she looked so sharp, so in control. She put on so much more muscle. Like she was looking really good in the ring, and she's been putting in the work, and that's impressive, and I respect that. So I just want to see her put this title on the map. I want to see her take this division to a whole nother level. I want to see more women, like top stars, be created, and more top stars coming to AEW specifically for the women's division. I know at All Out there's going to be the return of the Battle Royal for the women, so that should be something to look forward to if we see some debuts. I don't know if Tia Trinidad's coming to AEW. Probably not, because I heard she might have re-signed back with WWE. She would have been a big name to have in the women's division. Like, I think we just need like another big name to help. I don't know, like if Serena Deeb drops the NWA championship, or maybe they do a champion versus champion match somewhere down the line, that would be really good. I think the women's just needs to have banger matches and just keep more story development. And I think if Britt could be like the head, person in charge of leading that, I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I agree. She's definitely going to bring more eyes to the division. She's much more vocal about her wrestling ability than Hikaru Shida was. So obviously she's going to be cutting more promos, which is good because she's been electric at them. And yeah, I'm excited to see what she's going to continue to do now that she has the belt. But yeah, the match itself was really good. There were a couple of near pinfalls, close calls there that I thought it could go either way. I was like, okay, maybe it's not quite Britt's time, but
which would have been sad. I think the crowd would have turned so hard on this show, like so hard. They would have been like, you know what, these, like, that's why I also had that when I was talking to you. I was like, yo, I have a feeling like they might not give this Britt Baker win, and they did. And maybe it's just from all the years of watching WWE not giving you what you want, but it was perfect. It was a perfect win.
Yeah, it definitely didn't seem forced at all. Yeah, it was done really nicely, really well.
Yeah, and Riho versus Britt Baker would be pretty good too. Former first AEW Women's Champion, and I think Riho also recently just permanently moved to the United States as well, so we could be seeing a lot more of her. She's pretty over too. But yeah, I'm really excited for where the women's division goes from here, and maybe in a couple months we'll kind of do like a report card to see what's happening with Britt Baker's title run.
Maybe at our All Out review, we'll do a report card of the women's division.
Very true. I like that idea.
That's a nice 3 months, 4 months.
3 months from now, yeah. Exactly 3 months from now, yeah. All right, so Sting and Darby Allin versus Ethan Page versus Scorpio Sky. This match was a lot better than I thought. Sting looked good, and the stuff that he did, I thought was awesome. Just, a lot of people really didn't expect much. They kind of like, all right, he could do the Stinger Splash. He could do he'll do a couple of different things like that.
He'd be using the hell out of that Stinger Splash.
Because it's iconic. It's his iconic move. So like he just does all his things. He do all signature moves and go home. But no, like he bought it. He took a big power bomb on the stage. No sold it. Comes up behind Scorpio Sky with that awesome turns around and he throws his ass off of the casino chip and then goes takes his shirt off, beats his chest, and then jumps. Like, what the heck? The crowd was into it. They was saying, you still got it. And he did. And he carried it. He didn't look, for 60, he's like 64. Sting is 64
he's
years
not
old.
young.
Not at all. And he was doing all of that. It's pretty impressive. Most people was like, he's not going to wrestle in AEW. And people were defending that, but then he decided to wrestle. Like, okay, it's cinematic matches, that's fine. But then he wrestled in the ring and he proved it. And I know Sting is very competitive, and like his run he did with WWE back in like 2014-ish, around that 2016, something like that. He didn't get the run that he wanted, but this was his first win in a ring in an actual wrestling match since like 2004, 2012, 14, something like that. Like, he didn't win any matches when he was in WWE. He lost all of them and got hurt, like hurt his neck. So
that's crazy.
It is crazy, but it was awesome seeing this thing. This is a very fun match, a good breakup of between like this and then before the Britt Baker Championship match and the the Triple Threat Championship match, which is next after this. What do you think?
Yeah, it was really good. Obviously, Sting showed he still has some gas in the tank, but like we said earlier, I don't think he definitely can't be a singles competitor. And I don't even think he could be like a normal tag team partner if that was the route they go with Darby. I don't think he's got it like that. But, once in a while, a match like this, he showed he still can still get going. He can still get it done.
I mean, he probably won't wrestle again until All Out. So he got 3 months to be in the ice tub, let that body recuperate, because his body don't heal the way it used to, which is okay though, because it just gives more storyline. Because at first it's like when he first came back, it's like he took no bumps, no one even touched him, and also he took that big powerbomb from Brian Cage. It's like, oh,
yeah, that was the one where I was like, sheesh.
Yeah. So that was awesome.
But yeah, you want to talk about body recuperating. How about Darby Allin? This man be getting thrown around like a paper ball.
Yeah, he has a stunt background. He does a lot of stunt training, stunt performance, and stuff like that. And he said he doesn't take any like Advil or drugs to like for like pain relief. He just does like a lot of like stretching and cold tubs. Like he does a lot of like cold showers and cold baths to kind of like heal his body.
Yeah, I know he's straight edge, so he doesn't like drink or do like hard drugs, but I know he didn't take like Advil or anything either. But I guess it makes sense. But yeah, that dude, like, it was one thing when he was getting tossed around by Brian Cage, but Ethan Page isn't that big, man.
But he's still okay. We know where the next step in the story.
Ethan Page is not small. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he's deceptively strong. And the fact that he yeeted this man
into the stands.
But he does that Ethan's edge to like a lot of people. He throws people like over. I mean, Darby Allin's probably like $170. If he's like $170, that's like his weight.
Nah, that dude's like
maybe 160,
140.
Nah, I don't think he's that small.
How tall is he?
5'7", maybe.
Yeah, that dude's like 140.
But Ethan Page is deceptively strong. But that is the next big blood feud, and I think they need to have. I think they either going to have a big blow off match on Dynamite or at All Out. Like, I don't know how. Like, that would be a killer match because they have because I mean they referenced it on the commentary about like their feud that he had on the independent scene. And you heard why they never finished the conclusion to their series, right?
Because of the dent in his face.
Yeah, Ethan Page hit Darby Allin with a shovel. He literally broke his arm and elbow as well, and he literally hit this man straight in the head. Like it's insane. I'm pretty sure there's a Evolve Championship Wrestling documentary with Darby Allin about how he like broke his arm and had to come back, and it had like it was a great feud they had, but I think they're like 1-1. They never got to do the third one because he got hurt right before. But this man, think about the shit he was doing on the independent scene just to get like seen, and now the stuff he's been doing just so he can stay like a top guy because he just keeps getting better and better every time you see this man.
Facts, but he might be doing too much. Like he's still pretty young,
but he doesn't want to wrestle for a long time. Like I think he wants to be done wrestling in like a couple years. Like he said, he doesn't want to wrestle past his 30s, which I think he just turned 29.
I mean, past 30 or past his 30s, because that's a difference of 10 years.
I don't think he wants to wrestle deep into his 30s. I think he said he's going to retire in like 3 or 4 years, which makes sense. He's been busting his ass. Like I don't think his body can sustain doing the shit that he does for another 2 years.
Absolutely not. He does some wild stuff.
He legitimately is the definition of fuck my body.
Yes.
But did you like this match?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I like seeing Sting get to have the pin.
Yeah, that finish was really cool. Because Scorpio Sky first and foremost, like Ethan Page looked great in this match. Scorpio Sky just always looks crisp, and I think he definitely will get a big singles push. Like these guys are very good in the ring. They're very good on the mic. I think it's a natural fit for both of them to do their thing. Maybe they find a third and go trios. Maybe. I don't know. I like these guys. Like I like Scorpio Sky a lot. Like he's one of my favorites because he's just so good and so talented. And he talks about how he hasn't even been able to show like he's only been able to show like 1/3 of like his actual potential in the ring, which is insane because he hasn't had those like deep in the water matches. And he had a feud with Shawn Spears before he turned and before Shawn Spears got either hurt or he just left AEW for a little bit. That would have been that was supposed to be a good feud that he can have to actually have like a long match. So I'm interested to see more of Scorpio Sky as a singles competitor. Yeah. So it's just interesting. The TNT title hunt is really interesting because I mean it's a mixture of like giving guys opportunities and guys who are kind of like not ready for the big title but to really kind of prove themselves. So it's really interesting. I feel like that's what makes the TNT title almost more coveted than the AEW championship. Because I feel like it's a closer grab than that world title.
Yeah, I don't know if it's more coveted, but I would say more competitive. Just because, like there's only a couple people that they have in mind for the AEW championship, the world championship. Like if somebody's going to take it off Kenny Omega, you said it earlier, it's probably Hangman. If it's not Hangman, then like Mox. Like it's a very short list of names who could reasonably win that. Whereas the TNT championship, it's more open. So not easier because obviously there's more people competing for it, but it's just more like exciting because there's
a smaller gap of like a smaller gap to the top, if it makes sense. Like because the Kenny Omega seems such like a top guy, and you have to be at such upper echelon. But the TNT is like the champion of opportunity. Like you can get a couple win streaks, and then you'll get that opportunity. A younger guy get that opportunity. Not everybody's getting the opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just there's more likelihood for it to switch hands.
For sure.
Like, yeah, so it's just more competitive because it's easier to get a shot. So there's more people that are able to get those shots.
Well, speaking of more people getting shots, the AEW World Championship match, first time ever defended in a triple threat match. So Pac and Orange Cassidy both get an opportunity at Kenny Omega. And this match was phenomenal. Like, absolutely phenomenal. Pac, I love how Pac looks like a predator when he's on the top rope with these missile drop kicks. And then he nips up, but he doesn't nip up like how everyone does comes up. Like, they kind of like this. This man nips up like this. Like an elevator. Like, he really comes up and then like but it's just like so smooth. And like, I hate him for it, but I love him for it at the same time. He's so awesome. I love Pac. He's definitely one of my favorite wrestlers. Orange Cassidy, I love Orange Cassidy. He's been awesome. His character is evolving, seeing him evolve as a wrestler when he cares more about his match flow and people respecting him more. I love that as well. They put on a hell of a show because they really sold that orange punch. Like, Orange Cassidy really bought to steal that victory. I think it made both guys look really strong. I would love to see both guys get individual championship like opportunities to get on Dynamite after Jungle Boy to keep them strong. Like, they're like, hey, you never beat me 1-on-1. Like, I feel like Pac can still say that because Pac didn't get pinned. Right? Who got pinned? Was it Pac who got pinned or Orange Cassidy?
I think it was Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. Yeah, because he didn't even hit him with the one-winged angel either. So
no. Yeah, he rolled him up with the cross.
Yeah, crucifix.
Yeah, the crucifix pin.
Yeah, so I mean that could also play, which is good. I think that keeps your main event scene strong. Like, it puts more people, like how you was talking about, it's kind of a smaller group of guys. Like, now you got Pac, you got Orange Cassidy, you got Mox. You know, you got these guys, more guys to compete for it. Like, I don't know who's gonna be the next guy. I mean, Jungle Boy's trying to creep his way into that scene. We'll see, like, what happens. Like, we'll see how they mix up. Like, I love the Dynamite after the pay-per-views. Except, fortunately, we got to wait till Friday. But, because you can see what fresh matchups they're thinking about going in. Like, are you going to – because you would think – like, I think when MJF and Cody Rhodes wrestled at Full Gear and Cody Rhodes lost to MJF, and he's calling about, like, I want a rematch, but then all of a sudden – Jay Cardio comes out, and then that sets up a different direction. Like, where you think the direction you think they're just going to repeat stuff, they switch it up and go fresh and do something different. So we'll see. Like, maybe Pac goes into a different direction against someone like, who would be cool to see Pac fight? I don't know.
Lance Archer.
But
he could get revenge for that loss revenge for Phoenix's loss to Lance Archer.
Oh, true. But I mean, it maybe like, because that's kind of like Pac going down the card. I guess technically you do go down the card if you lose the big one.
Is it down though? Because like they both just competed for a championship.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, they've elevated the TNT Championship to pretty much being equal to the World Championship because of how many more defenses you do, so you get more opportunities to lose. But it's also like a very coveted championship as well because of that. Because you get that notoriety on Dynamite, like you get that main event spot to be seen, to be the face of the channel. The TNT being face of TNT, soon to be TBS.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a really good match. Obviously, all three competitors look really good. Orange Cassidy had it 1, landing the double orange punches before interference. And then Pac might have had it 1 when he had Orange Cassidy in submission, and Omega took out the ref.
Yeah.
To stop him from seeing a potential tap, which I didn't see if Orange Cassidy did tap or not.
I don't think so.
I
think it makes sense. I think this feud doesn't end yet. I think Pac demands a singles one-on-one match. Either this, or probably like the week after, or so against Kenny Omega, because like it makes sense with how the ending goes. Because I don't think this goes away yet. At least for a couple more weeks, and then we figure out what we're going to. This will help us kind of get us closer to that All Out, and then somehow Hangman works his way back into the equation.
Yeah.
Maybe Hangman. Ooh, Hangman versus Pac again. This was like one of the first rivalries of AEW. So him revisiting the matchup against Pac. I'm not sure who won that matchup between them. They could be draw because Pac and Hangman was supposed to wrestle at Double or Nothing, the first ever Double or Nothing. But it was okay. So yeah. So early on, Pac was supposed to come to AEW to fight Hangman, but he backed out because there was creative differences. Because he didn't want to lose as being the Dragon Gate World Heavyweight Championship, because he wanted to keep that prestigious championship, because he was like undefeated. He was undefeated for a full year as the Dragon Gate Championship. Then he lost it, but that he lost like after like a while, and then he kind of re-signed back with AEW, because he kind of went this. That was like the first time he was away from AEW again, and they wound up doing a match between. They wound up doing Hangman versus Pac at like this England show. Then they just put it on the YouTube channel, which is, I think it's still on the YouTube channel, AEW's YouTube channel, for free. But that went to like a time limit draw. Then they did a match on the first ever episode of Dynamite in Washington, D.C. I can't remember who won that. I think Pac won that one. And I think they ran it back again. Let me look it up. Now I got to look it up. Oh, yeah, they also wrestled at Full Gear. So they've done 3 matches, and I think they're both 1-1. So I can see Hangman going through Pac again to be the final boss to getting to Kenny Omega for All Out. And maybe he goes against Orange Cassidy as well, but that'll be tough because those 2 guys are both really over, and you don't want to see like either guy to kind of making them choose. Yeah, because they literally feuded at the first press conference for AEW too, so like either they do it to where Pac is the first challenger for the AEW championship with Hangman, or they do it to where he has to go through Pac to get to Kenny, and maybe Pac beats Hangman later down the road. Because Pac needs to be champion within a year. He has to be some champion in a year. 6 months.
You said the same thing about Hangman, though.
Oh, Hangman will be champion, but he was also a tag team champion most recently last year. So he had that champion. He had a championship in AEW.
But Pac could have the trios championship.
That's fine. Like I'm fine with that. He needs to have a championship in the next 6 months, whether it's tag or singles.
I got you.
I need to see Pac more. I just need him more.
I feel it. Yep, he's ridiculous. But yeah, he might have had that one. I don't know because Orange Cassidy didn't tap out. So this is not like the what was the WWE? Was it WrestleMania? It wasn't WrestleMania. The triple threat match with Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns, Edge, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that match where Daniel Bryan did have Roman Reigns tapped, but because of interference by Edge, the ref didn't see it.
Right. That was just Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns. I think that was
that set up the triple threat match because
Edge.
He wasn't even a special guest referee, was he? He was a special
like
commentator.
He was just at ringside.
Ringside, yeah.
Daniel Bryan got a title match before Roman Reigns did, before Edge did at the WrestleMania. So he was like, "No, this is my opportunity to do it." He turned heel, which was kind of dumb, but
yeah. But it wasn't a situation like that where Daniel Bryan did have Roman Reigns tap, but because of the interference, the ref didn't see it. And on Sunday, Kenny Omega did take out the ref, but I don't think Orange Cassidy tapped to Pac.
No, they didn't mention that or show that. It was because Pac had him in the brutalizer, and he hit him, and Pac's like, ah!
Yeah, he's like, I'm not letting go.
And then he's like, fuck. And they hit Bryce Remsburg, which is smart. It's very smart, but it's definitely it's smart, but it's definitely crazy. Let's see. You had a comment. This would be great. Impact plus AEW's relationship. Cito Santana and Shannon Moore versus Coco B. Ware, and the Brooklyn Brawler winner faces Violent by Design or AEW Tag Champions. I would be cool with that. We definitely need to see more of more of a working relationship between Impact and AEW. I don't know if the Impact relationship with AEW is just strictly for Kenny Omega to take that title, or does anyone else is going to be involved? Like right now, it seems to be Kenny Omega in the World Championship, like that men's division, and then with NWA and AEW seems to be just their women's division. So they make it? I don't think they need to have like a tag team division, like a partnership with them because they're so deep in their own roster. But I don't know. There's so many directions, and I love that. I love that it's like nothing's predictable per se.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't know where they're gonna go. Like you want them to go here, but will they go there? Is like the question. It's tough to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, inter-brand competitions would be fun to see because AEW's tag team their division is so deep right now that, I mean, you could have other people who aren't competing for the AEW Tag Team Championship face off with some other people who are like up and coming in another promotion like Impact.
Yeah.
As a way to kind of push them over, but also give the AEW Tag Team division more depth and let them get some more screen time, because there is a lot of tag teams in the AEW. And hard to do it all justice.
And like, I'm so sad that like Top Flight, because really like there are three teams that I feel like they're trying to push before Dante or what was it? Not Dante.
Darius.
Darius got hurt. It was Top Flight, The Acclaim, and Varsity Blondes. Varsity Blondes and The Acclaim were two tag teams that Tony Khan handpicked and made. So they were like his creations, and then Top Flight was just a team they recruited and found, and they were just insane.
What about Private Party?
Private Party were recruited by the Young Bucks early on. They were there from early on, but they were definitely a handpicked team to be good. I think they're going to be champions for sure. They're still young, like they're 22 and 23. Like that's what's so great. Like because Private Party, Top Flight, Varsity Blondes, the Acclaim are going to lead that division. Well, I don't know if the Acclaim going. Honestly, I don't see the Acclaim being a tag team for long. I think they'll have a good run, but I just see an inevitable breakups. Not now,
the Acclaim,
but like
those guys are older than the other thing, right? Caster and Bowen.
I think
they got to be like later 20s, right?
I think so, but not. I don't think. Let me see.
I feel like Matt Caster is like 26 and Anthony Bowen is like 29 or something.
That sounds right. Whoa. Is that right?
What?
That's okay. So Max Caster is 31.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, indeed. Anthony Bowen is 30. Sonny Kiss is 27. Ethan Page is 31. Max is 25. Hangman is 29. Chris Statlander is 25. That's insane. I didn't think he was 31.
I definitely thought he was younger than Anthony Bowen. But yeah, that I don't think they're the future of the tag team. I mean, they might be.
They're stars. Like, there's no doubt about it. They're future stars. Like, they kind of work perfectly together. Like, I feel like it's like a rite of passage to do your thing in the tag team division before you can be a singles. Like, I feel like that's kind of how. I feel like that's how it works in AEW. Because you see that with like SCU, they was the first tag team champions, and then they then all of a sudden once they won the tag team championship went through that, then they kind of had single success. Like that's how valuable they put the tag team division and like doing work in that division. I don't know, like I definitely Max Caster seems to be like the guy who's going to have the most star power just because of like how well he is talking, his rapping. He does pretty well in the ring. But Anthony Bowens is really good in the ring. Like he does some pretty great stuff. They're perfect together, but like I do see them being good individual single stars. So maybe they should still be a team. But I don't know. I think they're perfect together. So I would say they are made to be attacked for now. But I think Max Caster is a star that's going to be like burning by himself pretty soon.
Facts. I'm a big Max Caster fan.
Yeah, he's made me a fan. Yeah, because it's the culture. Like just hearing rap in like professional wrestling, more of like the black culture. I like that. It makes me like, oh, like you know, because like I'm saying you don't see it otherwhere. I mean, you obviously got what am I blanking? I mean, of course, Private Party, but you also have oh my god, it's right there. I see them. I can't think of it. The name's not coming out. It's a WWE tag. Street Profits. Like Street Profits start bringing like that lingo. The New Day brings that lingo, and I like that. And then of course now this the new group in NXT, Death Row Records. I think they're going by. It's like Strickland. It's an all black crew, and they're kind of going by like what? Yeah. What is the Hit Row? No, they go by Hit Row Records, I think. Which one was they're like based off of like the rap
Death Row.
Yeah. So Death Row was the real group. I think it's Hit Row. I think is what they did on their show, which I respect. So it just gives more of that representation, and I like that.
I get that for sure.
And our final match, the Stadium Stampede. You didn't see Stadium Stampede from last year, so maybe we got to watch. You have to watch it because this Stadium Stampede was great. I think it was the perfect ending to this show. Very cinematic. Love the entrances by the Inner Circle because I thought it almost messed up at first, the way how they kind of like cut away from it for a second.
Yeah, I thought they got stuck or something. I was like, oh,
yeah. But it was really cool. I thought it had some good funny moments. Urban Meyer making that cameo, I thought was hilarious.
Him and Charlie Strong.
Yeah. It was a really good match. I don't know. I think the first one was better, but I don't like to compare them like that because they both were really good. I think this one just had a little bit more special meaning because it was kind of like a because of the fans and they've added the fan element to it. I think though because I think this one was shorter by 15 minutes because I think the first one was like 45 minutes and this was like 30 minutes. But I just thought the ending was so perfect.
Yeah, they showed very little of Santana and Ortiz and FTR.
Which I'm actually okay with that because if the next step of this feud is everyone having individual matches with them, I know FTR and Santana Ortiz are going to be insane. Like those two are going to have the greatest tag team matches in the ring, and I'm okay with like just holding back with those two right now because Wardlow and Hager, we already saw that matchup. We finished with Sammy Guevara and Sean Spears, so we get a little taste of that, but not the full thing. We already saw Max and Chris Jericho before. So those are two of the only people that we haven't seen like properly in the feud, like in a match together, and I know those two are going to kill it.
Yeah, I wondered if maybe that's why they like didn't show them as much on purpose, like to try to set up a future match. But yeah, that would be like my only complaint really is that we didn't see very much of them. We didn't really see much of Wardlow and Hager either, but I mean, what we saw from them was what we expected. So, some unexpected stuff because he went through the wall in the kitchen or whatever that was.
Yeah.
But it was good though. It was done really well. But yeah, seeing Chris Jericho and MJF back into the stadium with the fans all around like that was really cool. Obviously, for the first event back with live fans or full capacity. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the ending was so perfect. Sammy Guevara getting the victory after he lost the match for the Inner Circle at Blood and Guts because he was the one who surrendered because he wanted to save Chris Jericho. So him getting that redemption. Also, Sammy Guevara the one quitting the Inner Circle and being the one to win them the match. Like, it's perfect. Like Sammy Guevara needs to go. Ooh,
did he get Sammy pinned? And to end the last, yeah, he did.
He did get pinned. He get pinned by Kenny Omega.
Yeah, he hit the one-winged angel from like
Yeah, you saw the end. This shit was crazy.
He eated him.
We gotta watch that first match because I mean he got Sammy Guevara got tormented because they did the whole thing. So Sammy,
I've seen like bits and pieces of
him running from the golf cart and then getting hit by it. Like he got tormented during that rivalry last year. And now he kind of get that redemption. I think it's time. Like Sammy Guevara can outwork a lot of people, and he's a star in the making. Like he could be the guy to beat Miro for a TNT championship. Now thinking about it, because he looked phenomenal. Like I could see him being the next Jungle Boy and like winning like a big battle royal or something like that, to giving him an opportunity to, get that championship match and keep getting wins. But I can see put Wardlow and Sammy Guevara in the TNT championship picture. Ooh, Wardlow beating Miro? I'm okay with that one. But Wardlow, he's been protected. He's been pretty strong, but he hasn't been like pushed. So I don't know because I thought Wardlow was going to turn on MJF and then he was going to have his babyface run to kind of doing his thing, but he stayed behind MJF. So I don't know when Wardlow is going to get that push, but he needs it because he's so good in the ring and he actually can talk.
Yeah, I haven't seen him talk much.
Have you seen him wrestle much?
I saw the match him versus Hager, but that was the only like singles match I've seen him in.
You should have seen some of his squash matches from like last year. He has a deadly Like, have you seen him? So he gets the guy up on the second rope, holds him by his neck, and then does this like falling like TKO knee strike. It's just pretty fucking nasty because he's really just falling, like he's using gravity against him and then forcing that knee. I never seen a finishing move like that before. It's pretty good. He knocked out some dude pretty legit, I think. He's really good in the ring. He just doesn't get a lot of matches, but I think it's good to kind of protect him right now, kind of keep him that Brock Lesnar type because he's stupid strong, especially when he does that F5. Like the F10, excuse me, because he does the spinning one. And then Hager tried to do that shit to him, and Figure was like, that's pretty funny. Yeah.
Because he's shorter than Hager too, right? So he's more compact and.
Yeah, I mean, because I think Hager's like 6'6".
Yeah, Hager's tall.
I think Hager's. I think Wardlow's probably 6'3" though.
Yeah, Wardlow's not short. He's just a little bit more compact than Hager.
Yeah, way more pound for pound strong. But yeah, I think again, this shit was so perfect because everyone singing Judas and the crowd going home happy. It was a perfect ending to the show. We got Britt Baker winning, Kenny Omega. Like you can end with Kenny Omega winning. That just would have been terrible. So I'm okay with him not closing the show. Inner Circle closing show was awesome. A lot of great results. A great pay-per-view overall. What did you think?
Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed almost all of it. I am interested to see how they handle some of it with the long-term storytelling. But I'm excited to see what they do with it. Because, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought almost all the matches were very good to exceptional. And, yeah, I think a lot of things went as we expected. Nothing really too unexpected.
That's okay though. I feel like it's a weird thing because it's like people's like, oh, it's so predictable, but it's like it's like you're giving us what we wanted, and that's okay. And then of course you can have a few surprises here and there, like the Leo Rush surprise or like something else surprise. Like that's cool as long as it's in favor of like what we want. Like I think that's what's awesome that we get what we want. So, oh, we saw this coming. It's like. Yeah, you wanted this though. Like the fans wanted this, but they'd be like, "Oh, it's predictable." Yeah. I'm like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? Then you gonna complain that like, they don't give us what we want. Like, dude, this is awesome. Like, we got exactly what we want. This sets up the fantasy booking that all of us wants to do.
No, and yeah, I agree. Yeah, they gave us a lot of what we wanted. I think the one match that didn't go as people would have wanted is the triple threat match. But, I mean, maybe that was part of the reason with them making it a triple threat match. Because, like, people are conflicted. Like, hey, we want Orange Cassidy to win. No, we want Pac to win. Like, you're kind of splitting the votes there, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so it's easier to just have Omega retain. Because it's not unanimous for either one of them.
Right.
But I don't know if that played a factor into the booking for that match or not. But, I mean, it's reasonable, in my opinion.
One also thing that happened, too, is that even though they were already planning on going with a triple threat, like Orange Cassidy legitimately got knocked out in the match between him and Pac a couple weeks ago. Like when that, I don't know if it happened like on the kick, or it was definitely when that powerbomb he was gone. Yeah. But he legitimately got knocked out, and they literally had to make that finish up on the run because they were supposed to go to a time limit draw. It was the original finish for that match, and because because of what happened, like he got knocked out, he had to like figure something out. Luckily, the commercial break helped him give him some time, but yeah, they made that finish up. Dawn running out there, hold on, yeah, so. Insane. I'm excited for Friday night. I hate that I have to wait till Friday night at 10 o'clock, but it was kind of nice to watch it because I could watch it and kind of chill out and like enjoy my weekend. But I miss Wednesday nights because it was perfect middle of the week, get me through.
Are they going to go back to Wednesday nights?
They are. It's just because they get flex with the NBA playoffs, and that's what's been killing.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and so that's why also they make their big new deal with TBS because less times of getting flex out of their position because they've built such a big
for March. Like
huh?
TBS does a lot of March Madness.
That is true, but I mean they do a lot of it during the day, so they could kind of.
I mean, there's always a night game too.
That's true. They can. I think they'll give like AEW more of for the TBS slot. They'll just push it to like True TV or whatever. True. But I think with the renegotiations, they got more of a like, look, we want less times getting because they've been slotted a lot because you building that you have to build that that repetition Wednesday night 8:00 like that's when you're going to see wrestling. But then all of a sudden like when you have multiple times of like where is it? Where like it's Wednesday night 8:00, but this is basketball. Like you're still because it's just a new company. You still got to build that repetition, kind of like Monday Night Raw is. Like Monday Night Raw is every Monday night at 8:00. Like that, and USA, like it's been the same. So it's kind of build that. They've been doing a good job with it, but it sucks getting flexed out, constantly. But hopefully next year you'll see that less happening, but then more of those big quarterly specials on TNT, especially with the quarterly pay-per-views. So 8 big events a year, which would be pretty cool. Yeah. So I'm really excited for that. I'm excited for Dynamite. So any final words, Jonathan, for this wrestling? Well, it is Wednesday now, so our Wrestling Wednesday.
No, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Besides, the Lakers stink. They're losing by, it was 30. They cut it to 28 now. 81-109. Suns are up with 3 minutes left. I'm pretty sure Dame went bonkers tonight. They lost, but he dropped 55. Hit 12 of 17 from 3. Jeez. Which I'm pretty sure is a playoff record. But yeah, they lost 147-140 in double overtime.
Well, who lost at 147?
Denver won 147. Portland lost 140.
I swear, Portland gives the most effort to lose. It is so heartbreaking.
Facts. They're down 3-2 now, so they got to win 2 back-to-back if they want to win. But
it's a tough series. We'll talk more about that on Thursday. Big show coming up on Thursday, so be back here on the channel. Make sure you're following us on all the social medias you see down below, on Twitter, on TikTok, here on Twitch. Be with us as we continue to grow and journey. The 1-year anniversary is coming up in a month. Super excited. We'll do a big show for our 1-year anniversary. Be sure to check out with us. But thank you guys for watching our AEW Double or Nothing review for 2021. If you guys like this enough, we'll do it again for All Out, or we'll do maybe more wrestling. Maybe we'll do some WWE ones. There's a Hell in a Cell coming up in a couple weeks. Maybe we'll do a little review of that. But anyways, wait, Stephen A., he has something to say?
Y'all take it easy. I'm out.
We are out. Have a great night, guys. We'll see you guys on Thursday.
See you guys.